Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Retro Reminisce, the show where we talk about older games and see if they still hold up, what we like, what we don't like, and a little bit of nostalgia in there for good measure. My name is Killjoy, and I am joined, as always, by two of the loveliest men I know. On my left, Mr. Mark Kitchen. How's it going, good sir?
Oh, I'm good. Pretty warm, but I'm pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
Just pretty good? Great?
Oh, I'm really good.
Really good?
Yeah.
Cool. Fantastic. And also on my left, Mr. Fruity Sammer, who is essentially a pop shield to me. How's it going?
I'm still standing.
It's like, yeah.
Well,
Doing
sitting,
it.
technically,
But yeah.
yeah, still going.
It's going strong. Today, we're going to be looking at a beat-em-up. One of the most famous beat-em-ups, I suppose, in the Golden Axe. So, we've finally done the trilogy of Mega Games 2 on the Mega Drive. We did Streets of Rage, we've done Shinobi. We're going to finish it off today with Golden Axe. Yeah, it was a side-scrolling beat-em-up released in the arcades in 1989. I didn't realise this game was that old.
30 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought it was a little bit later than that, but 1989.
That sounds about right.
And then got ported to the Master System, the Mega Drive, the Sega CD, DOS, Amiga, everywhere. Plenty of places. iOS as well, I did not know it was on that. And yeah, for those who don't know, it's the typical kind of old school beat 'em up where you pick a character, you move up and down the screen to fight other monsters. And this one is set in a fantasy setting, and you have a choice of a dwarf, a warrior, and a Valkyrie, I think is what she's meant to be, or a rogue or something, I'm not quite sure.
I don't know. She seems like another barbarian.
Yeah, maybe like an Amazon or something.
Wearing very little clothes.
Yeah, so...
Same as the dude, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing
The
very
dude's
little
just
clothes.
wearing like a loincloth as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so...
Very Conan.
This is a game that I think we've all played over the years and whatnot. So let's kick things off. I'll start with Mr. Mark. So when was sort of the first time you played this game?
Well, I don't think I'd really played this when I was a kid because my mates who had Mega Games, was it Mega Games 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. We always just played Streets of Rage, like the other games kind of got ignored a bit. So I don't really think I played this until I was an adult. And I think I've only played this game once before.
Yeah.
But I kind of just throw it in there with like all the other kind of beat 'em ups. Like they're all quite similar.
Yeah.
Obviously they have different genres. This was very fantasy based, different kind of characters and enemies and things. But yeah, I kind of throw it into that pool of my mind. So when I'm trying to remember what I thought about it, I kind of need to play it to remember because it kind of just gets mixed up with the other beat 'em ups that I've played in the past. But yeah, it was sometime. I think it was sometime in my adult life that I played this, and I've only played it once, possibly twice.
Yeah.
Because I always just ended up playing Streets of Rage whenever there was like a beat 'em up to hand.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So yeah, that's my experience of the game. Very, very little actually.
Mr. Fruity, I think it's going to be a different story for you.
Yeah, I played a lot of this growing up. I had the collection. It's also where my love of like Shinobi came from. It's a pretty good collection actually.
I think for a Mega Drive game, like it's probably like some of the most iconic Mega Drive games. Like people, I know that Shinobi's weirdly the odd one out because it's two beat 'em ups and that, but
Yeah, it's kind of an odd one to have. It doesn't really keep into like a theme of like a collection.
Did you ever see like Golden Axe sold separately? Because I feel like Streets of Rage, Shinobi, and I've seen Shinobi separately, but the other two I haven't.
Yeah, I saw Shinobi separately. Like I've actually seen the box art and stuff.
Yeah,
I've never seen them separately, and I don't know anyone who
owned them. Yeah, everyone had Mega Games too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone got the collection.
Yeah.
It's like how all my friends had like the Sonic collection.
Yeah,
But
not me.
people.
I had them all individually, but
I knew a couple of guys that had one. But I didn't
Yeah.
think I knew many.
I've
I
got
might know
one,
one or
two.
two people that had two.
Three's got the best box art.
Who had the Sonic 2 on its own.
Yeah.
It's like a relic now.
It's got
Like,
Robotnik crushing the two in. There's a really,
Yeah.
really iconic cover, but
I love those old Mega Drive like,
boxes.
cases.
Yeah, they're so cool, aren't they?
The
Like that chunky.
artwork.
Yeah.
The artwork's amazing on most of them.
They just put the cartridge in a little bit in the
Clip,
middle of the
yeah.
It's always seemed like the case was just designed with VHSs.
Yeah,
They just like put the
Yeah.
extra
Repurposed
moulding
it.
in the
Maybe
middle.
that's why I find them so
Yeah.
nostalgic. 'Cause it reminds me of having VHSs.
just
as a
opening
kid.
it up. Yeah,
But yeah, I had this for like a kid. We had it in our collection. Played it a lot. Played a lot of this two-player.
Yeah, as you
Just
should
like with the Streets of Rage and the
Nice.
taking it in turns with my older brother. So
Yeah.
I played a lot of this game. Can't remember ever getting it, but it seems to have always been there. Maybe we got it with the Mega Drive, maybe. Don't
Yeah.
know.
Mine's a bit similar. I got my Mega Drive a lot later than you probably had yours. I think I was more like the age of like.
94, I think.
Oh yeah, mine was given to me by a friend, and I was in secondary school. I was probably like, how old would you be in year 7 or year 8 in school?
11 or 12.
Yeah, I think that's when I got mine. Yeah, and obviously got Mega Games 2 with it, and me and my brother played it. I mean, Mark's saying probably pick Streets of Rage more often, but I do remember playing Golden Axe. Didn't get very far into it because I think just, you know, at that age you don't always. Sometimes you just play a game, play it, and then you
Still
put it down.
yet to see the last level of Golden Axe.
Yeah, I've seen up to like when you get in the castle. I think as far as I've seen.
How many levels are there?
Not
It's not
very
that-
many.
It's not that more.
We got up to 5.
Yeah, we got to 5.
So
They're,
like
all-
8
8
or
is
10
something.
or-
8 I think is
Right.
something like that.
they're not very long.
No.
The levels are all pretty short.
Complete the game in like what, half an hour?
I mean, it was
45
originally an
minutes?
arcade game, wasn't it? So it wasn't.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can
wasn't
definitely
small.
speed run it in like
Yeah.
half an hour probably.
Mm. But yeah, I mean, I have fond memories of playing this with my brother because, you know, having a brother, we just played everything. Anything that was 2-player, we just played. You know, that's what we did. So this
Oh,
got a
yeah.
look in Streets of Rage. I don't really remember us ever playing Shinobi, but we probably did. But yeah, it was just one of those things where I got a Mega Drive. My mate gave me like 20 games with it, you know, and he was just like, and that was, we knew about Streets of Rage and I'd known about Golden Axe, and yeah, and I've got various compilations with Golden Axe on it and stuff anyway. So yeah, it's for me it was just one of those games that I just remember playing as a kid. And you know, the name Golden Axe was one of those ones. If you had a Mega Drive, it kind of was like you probably knew what Golden Axe was.
It's definitely more common than Gain Ground.
I feel like a lot of people have
That's
got a
like
lot.
super niche.
It was like there's a lot of people that have got nostalgia for this game, and they probably would play it again now and be like,
Seems
"Whoa,
like the
this
daddy."
is like aged."
It's. I think it came out before Streets of Rage. I also think it's by the same guys, maybe. Because like, obviously they're very similar games.
I'm not sure.
I know it just. I read something on Wikipedia saying that the guy that made Altered Beast was, I think, the inspiration for it or helped make it, but
I can kind of see that because that's kind of like
similar art style.
I think that's before.
Yeah.
The Beast,
Yeah,
isn't
Did you
it?
say
yeah.
Double Dragon?
No, but
That's a
yeah,
good game,
yeah,
yeah.
similar sort of concept
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
All right, let's
Chosen
move
time.
move on then. We'll go around in the same order. Mr. Mark, what do you like about this game?
I quite like the music.
The first level music is flipping awesome.
Yeah,
It's so good.
it was quite cool. I
Mm.
just 16-bit music is like pretty. I like most soundtracks from that era, to be honest.
It's interesting listening to it versus Streets of Rage. Like, it sounds like they've got to grips with the sound chips so much better in Streets of Rage. Not to say the music's bad in this game, but it definitely has more, like, I don't know, there's just something like a huge improvement to Streets of Rage in the music quality.
There's
Yeah.
also in this one they're kind of going for more of like a classical kind of feel
Yeah,
with more like orchestral instruments,
yeah,
which the Mega Drive does better at doing like 80s electric funk rather than
yeah,
like
definitely.
trying to do like original like a traditional instruments.
Yeah.
I think that definitely is a part of the reason why the Streets of Rage one sounds much better.
Because
'Cause
it
all
plays
the-
to its strength.
Yeah, all the Mega Drive games with good soundtracks all sound like that 80s kind of funkiness.
Yeah, this music definitely fits the kind of fantasy theme of the game.
Yeah.
Like, the music fits with that. I really like the fact that you can get on the dragon and stuff.
Yeah, the rideable
And
enemies.
the one with the where you spin round and
The
you
little monster dude, the
Yeah,
lizard thing,
yeah,
whacks from
yeah.
the tail, yeah.
kind of reminds me. I know this game came first, but it kind of reminds me of like Donkey Kong Country, where you
Get on the rideable animals, yeah.
different things you can get on, and
So-
each animal does different attacks.
Yeah,
But I
Yeah.
think the dragon was it a dragon? Like the fire
the big one, the dragon,
That
yeah.
was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't
I like
expect
the other
that.
one.
I don't remember having that, and so when I got on it, I was just like, oh, cool! Like obliterate someone with fire. That's fun.
It's cool that
The
they
pink one as well that fires across the level is so broken.
yeah.
It's that
Hard to
fireball
avoid that,
just
innit?
goes in a straight line across.
Was that bit
So
with the?
good.
Is that the bit with the dragon's head comes up?
No, that was the magic.
Oh yeah.
No, but the actual
Yeah,
when you get
pink
one of the
one's
dragons.
one of the bosses rides it, I think, in stage 4.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think.
The three characters seem quite different to one another. Just
Hmm.
good. Like the guy that I played with first. What's his?
I don't know his name. I only know Gilius, which is the dwarf.
Well,
The
I
other two I
found
don't
it a
know.
bit tough with
I
him.
can find out for you.
because, his range of his weapon was like not very long, but I did like I quite enjoy jumping and attacking in this game. Like you can jump really high and you can attack while in
Oh yeah.
while in the air, like multiple times. Like a lot of games around this time, you could only attack once while you're in the air. Like whereas this, you can jump and then just keep swiping your sword like multiple times, and that seemed to work a lot better for me than like just trying to reach someone with that guy and his tiny little sword, and the enemies seem to have much bigger weapons.
Yeah, the dwarf is definitely the best person to play.
Do you want to know what the other two are called?
Yeah, right.
The male barbarian is called Axe AX Battler. So his name's Axe Battler. Gilius' last name is Thunderhead, and then the lady is called Tyrus Flare.
Yeah.
And male barbarian wielding a two-handed broadsword, and the long sword wielding Amazon. She's an Amazon. Tyrus Flare. So there you go.
The running attacks are quite good. There's a good quite a number of different enemies that you face, and I think the magic looks quite cool as well when you use the magic. Like
the animation on it.
How many there are as well.
Yeah, the screen flashes and it's cool. So I quite like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Touch on I'll let you guys bounce off you guys whatever you say about positives as well.
All right, Mr. Fruity, what do you like about this game?
Kind of the similar things. Like kind of like the way the levels and look as well. Kind of like how the turtle's head's there and the eagle's head.
Oh, he's on top of them.
The eagle's head there, but there's also they still have building stuff on them.
Yeah.
I guess they are meant to be giants. I guess maybe there is a town on the back of a.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah,
it's very strange. It kind of adds that kind of Tolkien-esque kind of world. But yeah, they're all different. It's kind of a lot of the similar points as Mark made.
Yeah.
We come into a lot of the sound, and the scream is just hilarious.
Ah!
It's so
even the skeletons died scream.
Yeah. It's just such a ridiculous sound.
I mean, I get why, because you want to
slightly pitch shifted one for the women.
Yeah.
Kind of like how the bosses laugh until you hit them as well.
Yeah, just they're giggling.
And the women, for some reason the green version of the women also laugh like that. That's kind of cool. You can kind of do some things where you kind of clear out all the small people and then attack them afterwards individually.
Yeah.
Kind of do a bit of strategy there, which is kind of cool. Yeah, the maps are cool. I like all the magic's different. And don't get the item dropping people in between
the little gnomes or whatever,
halflings
or whatever.
That's really random.
Yeah, their faces as well are very weird.
Yeah, you kick them in the ass, don't you? Boosh.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Quite fun. It's very strange. It's what are these people?
Yeah. Just turn up silly little music. They are very weird.
It's kind of cute and
kind of you're stealing
high
their
fantasy.
Stuff. Yeah.
They steal your stuff. If you've got more than 3 or 4, they steal the boards that are in front of you, so you go down 2.
Yeah.
So even if you're maxed, you still have to get 2 back.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
bastards.
Yeah. What are you doing? Why would you have that?
Give me that back.
It would have been better if the green dude took one of your blocks of life. So you had to get the meat from him again.
No.
that would be interesting.
I just like the idea that you're just booting them in the ass, or the idea you just whack them. It's I'm that you bastard.
Plenty off of them, don't you? You get loads of magic off them and stuff.
Need it.
Hell yeah. I think that's everything.
Levi?
Yeah.
I can't add anything to this. You've literally covered the things that I mean, the rideable monsters are really cool, just because it's essentially like a power-up. You get the ability to have more range. The dragon's definitely better than the lizard, but it's still nice to be able to whack things. Obviously, with these style of games, it's nice that you do have multiple attack. You've got your standard combo, you've got the shoulder barge. You discovered a dodge roll that I didn't even know was in the game.
Yeah, and then I got game over straight afterwards and never got to try it again.
Yeah, there's that. Each character has different range, different magic. The magic animations are cool, all that. The first level music's great.
So in this one, that the man and the woman both do fire attacks.
Yeah.
So I swear in the next one, one of them does earth. It's earth.
I don't think I've ever played Golden Axe 2 or 3. So
haven't you?
No, I don't think I've ever played them.
You have branching paths in them, so you choose to go one way or the other. Yeah, different levels of that.
Interesting.
So you choose to go to the woods or go through valley
I'll have to give them a go at some point. But yeah, I mean generally, there's pretty much things that I like about the game. As you can probably tell, this is going in one direction. But if you guys got anything you want to add left, or should we move on?
Oh, I think that's about it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All good.
Let's move on to the things we don't like about this game. I'm gonna let you guys start because I've got a bit of a list. But I'll chuck it back to you, Mr. Mark. What don't you like about this game?
I think I've got an issue with beat 'em ups from this era in general, with that, like, the kind of the way that the combat works is just not how you would hope it would be, because of the fact that the game is 30 years old, I suppose.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had a bit of problems with the sword guy, and his range and things. I just find there's not much scope to like play this over and over again.
It obviously doesn't have like a lot of combos. Yeah, like some of the later games do. But
yeah, so it's kind of very basic attacking. There's not much more you can get out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
It gets more difficult, and there are different enemies, but there's not too many ways you can mix it up.
No, I mean you can. I think if you walk into an enemy, you can grab them, can't you, and chuck them? But
and you can do a running attack at them,
and a jumping attack, which looks
Yeah.
hilarious.
So
Yeah,
they
like
are
a
cool,
combo
but then after
one.
like a few levels, it's like, oh, I've done all that now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's like, what's the most efficient way to kill enemies and not get hit? Like,
Yeah. Don't enjoy these games, like this type of game, as much as I did when I was a kid. Like,
Yeah.
It's a very nostalgic genre for me.
Yeah.
Playing Streets of Rage and stuff. And I just find it's like, I can enjoy it for about half an hour or so, and then I'll just be like, oh, I don't need to play that again for a long time or whatever. So, I don't have any more specifics than that, really.
No.
I think you'll probably come up with
yeah,
stuff,
I've got
and
plenty of stuff, but we'll get on to me last. We'll obviously chime in if we come up with anything else. But Mr. Free, anything you don't like about this game?
Yeah, mine's basically the same as Mark, really. This era is kind of the equivalent for beat 'em ups as like platforming in the 3D.
Yeah.
It's like they kind of had an idea of what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to just make another platformer or another like projectile shooting thing.
Yeah.
So I kind of get
Shmup.
where they're coming from, but the pathing and the collision have never been great.
No, and that's something that I really picked up on.
It's the kind of thing you picked up. I felt that the glitches that we had in this game when I was the woman, and I got like locked into like repeated attack where like I didn't fall back to get the iframes to then clear the enemy, so I kept like losing all my health.
Yeah.
Like I never had that happen to me when I used to play this game. I've got a feeling that glitch was on the emulator.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much this is on the emulator as well, but I remember back in the day playing this and still having like problems with hit detection and like the collision of your different colliders.
Yeah. It's really obvious.
But
Just
then,
playing it is really obvious that there's something going on there.
But then it's no different to playing like Altered Beast or like
Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage, any of those games back then. The amount of times you can get like stun locked into combos.
Yeah.
If you get attacked by two enemies on either side of you.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, that's
like,
frustrating.
The mapping of the AI is all based on like really simple like roguelike coding, where you have like a plus XY minus XY coordinates, and then wherever the player character is, it then moves towards them until the X and Y value is closer to like what the player is. So it's really easy to like mess around with the AI, so you have to constantly move up, down and left and right for it to get further away from you.
Yeah.
So you can kind of set
like
up
all over
things.
the place in these games.
Yeah, so it's all, but then it's like I can't think of a good beat 'em up from the 80s that didn't do that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, normally I'm a big like, oh, Streets of Rage 2, but even that has these problems.
And that was like 93, 94,
Something like that, yeah. And that was later. And
that was also much longer and much later in the life cycle of the Mega Drive as well.
Yeah.
So like, most things I don't like about this is more just like the limitations of this genre on the hardware that it was on. It doesn't really feel fair to list this as like things. It's not things I don't like. It's like it's not really. They couldn't have fixed this stuff at the time anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like they didn't. They could have done anything about this when it came out. It feels kind of like beating a dead horse.
They did as much as they could with the technology at the time.
But it just makes it hard to play more than like an hour of this without being like,
I'm done.
meh. It's kind of like the Mega Collection was kind of a big thing on that. Like a lot of the beat 'em ups like this just haven't aged as well as like a Shinobi or like
I'll give you that. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Sonic the Hedgehog or like
like platform
Alex
games.
Kidd. Like a lot of those games just run a lot smoother.
Yeah, because it's not too complicated.
Yeah, and the characters are bigger on the screen normally as well, or like they have like easier hitboxes. So I kind of like the ambition of this game.
I think
It has many problems.
I think the friendly fire you get it's not really called friendly fire because it's not firing.
No, but friendly attack. Yeah.
Friendly attacks that you get in all of these games is frustrating as well because you have to like avoid hitting enemies.
Yeah, that's always weird. You can't just mark that object as like a friendly, which is always kind of weird.
Yeah, because then you could just brawl together like really well.
Because the enemies can't hit each other.
That is true.
I think they can pick each other up, but they can Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
But I don't think they can actually hurt each other.
Is it in Streets of Rage? You can do like a team attack, can't you? Like it might be Streets of Rage 2, but I think you can grab the player and everyone can like kick out in front of them or something. I've seen it happen. I'm not sure how you do it.
One thing with Streets of Rage you can do, which is something you missed in this game, which you just reminded me of, is that you can't alter the direction you throw them. A lot of like the pits and stuff, it'd be nice if you could like turn around to throw them like into the pits. And you can only throw them away from the direction the enemy's facing, like the way you're looking, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
That's something they probably could have done at the time.
Yeah, just hold up the direction down and chuck them. But
Yeah. Alright, Levi.
I'm gonna go down my list. There's no rhyme or reason this is. I'm just gonna go down it, and this is a lot of this is from what I saw, as well as I'll be honest right now. I only played like a level and a half, and that was enough for me to have most of my feelings on it. But start with the cheap bosses. The bosses, like Streets of Rage, have way too much range. They just fucking, once you get into their combos, you just lose all your health. I was watching those big guys with the hammers, and it was just like watching you guys get slapped around for ages before you started like shoulder barging them and stuff. I was just like, it's a problem.
Not that bad, the big guys, because you can just combo them.
Yeah, but I think like sometimes
and they also take up a bigger hitbox.
They do, but I still think like it's a lot of it comes down to the way they move. It's the same with the normal enemies, the way that they move, and when they come into your axis. It's like you'll be swinging, and clearly they're in range of the attack, but because they've just moved onto that axis, it's like you basically miss. There's like a weird thing going on with it.
Yeah, because you're fighting on the grid.
Yeah, but
if you don't have the same X value, then you're not gonna hit anything.
No, but it's like it's not always best like shown off. There's definitely times I was swinging my axe or what the sword at the time, and I'm like, clearly visually, I've hit them, but the game hasn't registered as a hit, and it's just like, well, I know at the time it's probably hard to do that, but it's really frustrating, and it's like one of my biggest problems with it. And yeah, I put down here like X and Y axis don't work how you think they should, in brackets planes, and there is definitely a lot.
You're not standing in the same direction.
No, because like for example, there's a bit where I was fighting some skeletons, and I would swing, and he was clearly in front of me, and then he would just interrupt my attack and just fucking do me one. And I was like, that happened multiple times, and I was like, I don't know if this is something to do with the hitbox, the axis, or something like something doesn't work properly with this game, because if you play Gilius swings in his animation like he does a slash rather than a swipe. What I mean by that is he swings his axe left to right rather than up and down. And it feels like with Gilius, I know his axe is obviously further out in front of him, it feels like it's much easier to hit stuff with him. Whereas like
definitely
with the sword guy, because he swings his butt of his sword downwards, it definitely feels a lot of the time where you, animation wise, you've clearly hit something, but it's like, is that because I'm too far away? Is that because they've just moved onto my plane? And like a lot of the time the enemy will get on your plane and just instantly hit you, and you're just like, well, like it's just incredibly frustrating when you're trying to, or being where it looks like you should be hitting them and you're not, and sometimes it's not your fault. Like if they're just at a weird position, and that's something just from playing the short time and watching you guys play, I was like seeing that a lot, where that was constantly happening. I was like, very weird. Enemies in this for some reason have iframes. There's definitely like an invincibility frame thing going on when it comes to attacks as well. And especially with, obviously when you start your combo with a character, it's usually like 1, 2, 3, punch, 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 and you knock them backwards. And like with the sword guy, you could hit them with the first attack, but the next attack had shorter range, and there was plenty of times where I'd hit someone, and they would just, I'd go to hit them again, and they would just break out, and then they would combo me. And I think that's more to do with his hit detection on his thing, but definitely felt like the enemies had iframes in this. Can't confirm that one, but that's what I can't really explain it in every other way.
I think so. It's just hit collision.
Yeah, it's probably hit
things
collision.
I know that have iframes is when the skeletons break apart and then reform.
Yeah.
Because you can't hit them when they're like
on the
broken
floor like
apart.
that.
And that I don't know.
The sound effects in this game are fucking ear piercing. I hated all of them because it's like every single attack.
Scream.
The scream was annoying, but it wasn't just that. It's the attack, like boom, 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 boom. I was like, why couldn't they have just added, something? They're just really loud, and I was just like, no. Obviously, I said about Gilius having like the best attack arc. The other two just don't seem to have any range, which really seems to just mess with your attacks versus the enemy. The enemy seems to have, like, even the guys on the maces just seem to have longer range. And then I had a weird glitch. This was weird. Like, we were on the eagle level, and obviously you got to walk down a bit. And I was holding up the entire time, and something happened. I don't know with the screen scroll or whatever, but I was holding up, and it just shot me to the bottom of the screen, and I just died. And I was like, what? Again, could be the emulator. Might not be in the actual game, but there was some weird, like, scrolling glitch. And, yeah, and that kind of pissed me off, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, great, it's been messed up by this game. But yeah, that's everything I personally don't like about the game. I mean, it's definitely a frustrating experience for me personally. I don't know if you guys want to add anything more to it, but that's how I feel about it. I think there's this game has a lot of problems with its grid. Like, I feel like at least in Streets of Rage, a lot of the time I didn't feel like the enemy would walk into me and just instantly like hit me. Because at least then I felt like I could grab them easier. In this, it doesn't. It just feels like they just walk as soon as they're in range, just bam, and you're just like, great, thanks. All right, so let's wrap things up then. Mr. Mark, do you think this game holds up at all?
I don't think this genre of game holds up, to be honest. I don't think I don't enjoy beat 'em ups like I did then. I don't really know if there's anything to compare it to. Do they still make beat 'em ups?
Yeah, you got a brand new Streets of Rage 4 coming out this year. Looks amazing.
Yeah,
looks lovely.
Okay, but other than a game that isn't out yet, what other beat 'em ups have come out?
You've got a lot more 3D ones now. That's why.
Yeah.
Which, in a lot of ways, is a bit easier because you've got full 360 movement and you can see the enemies around you. And
I mean, I guess they don't make 2D beat 'em ups anymore.
Well,
Maybe
Streets of
they'll
Rage
do
is
like
coming out. Oh, they did Double Dragon Neon and Double Dragon 4.
Maybe I should play some of these games so that I can see the evolution of how,
Double Dragon Neon was such a letdown, but yeah, we should play some of the stuff.
just so that I can see the kind of how they've like improved it. I imagine they run a lot smoother and stuff, but
Yeah,
like the axes and the hitboxes and the iframes and stuff just make for more frustration than enjoyment.
yeah,
Like, there is enjoyment there. I like the music. It is like enjoyable to a point, but I wouldn't want to play this game over and over again. There's like
sure.
there's too much jank for me.
Yeah,
to,
absolutely.
To really enjoy playing this game, and we were just saying, I would like to play Streets of Rage 4 when it comes out, and some of the other beat 'em ups, just see how they can compare, because I don't have anything to compare it to within the genre really. But yeah, I would say generally this is not going to hold up.
Yeah.
This is for nostalgia purposes only. Like,
Yeah. No, absolutely. Do you? Before we move on to 3, I would say out of this or the original Streets of Rage, which one would you recommend?
I'd say marginally Streets of Rage is better. But maybe I'm just nostalgia blind because I played that more than this. But I like the fact that you have like there's a level on a lift.
Yeah.
The crashes, and you got the big fire breathing bald boss people.
Oh yeah.
I like the police cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
The setting maybe.
and the music in that game.
Yeah.
is incredible. Like, this had pretty good music, but Streets of Rage music is
Excellent.
more memorable for me.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Mr. Fruity, how do you feel about it? Do you think it holds up?
Kind of the same view as Mark, where like this entire genre it's like the same problem with all like genres where they haven't really been formed yet.
Yeah.
It's like comparing this to like Streets of Rage 1 seems a bit unfair, because it's like comparing the first, well, not the first draft, but like the previous game with like the second game. So where you should be better, like you've had longer to work with this.
Well, it's thinking
You should
more,
know more.
you know, like about themes. You know, if someone said that we've got one of these games to pick, you know, do you think it's like themed wise maybe it's better, like the magic and all that stuff, or do you think, you know, maybe people would prefer like?
I think Streets of Rage is more limited. Like it doesn't have as many like things going
It's
on.
meant to be more realistic in that
So
sense.
it only has
yeah.
like the police that do like 2 different attacks.
Yeah.
And then like so you don't have any of the magic stuff, which actually means they have more. You have to do so many like color swapped enemies, and like they
Yeah.
have more like vibrant backgrounds and stuff.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels very different, really.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. I'm just, you know.
It's like I think like obviously it's not as good as like Going Axe 2 or 3,
Yeah.
because they improve on a lot of these problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like a teething problem. So
Yeah.
I do have a lot of nostalgia for this game, but also it's a very quick game.
Yeah. It's not.
Yeah, it
There's
was surprising
not
how
that
short
much
it was.
to it. Yeah, it's very small. It's
Yeah.
also like just a relic of its time.
Yeah.
So I think if you want to play something which is like make you think that the indie games out today are actually okay, or they're terrible.
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's kind of like that, I guess. It's kind of what the 80s were to video games.
Mm.
It was kind of just like the Wild West, where like, everyone was a game developer, regardless of like if any people actually knew how to program.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
So I think it's, if you've got nostalgia for it, play it.
Yeah.
But
If you've never played any games like this before, you'll be like, what is this shit?
or if you were like your first console was like a PS3 or 4 or something
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
If you're
Going
like a
back
teenager
to this
now,
kind of
like,
stuff weren't really helpful.
if you're a 12-year-old kid now, you're going to be like, what is this?
To be honest, though, if you were, this is from personal experience. If I was gonna say go back and play a game like this, I would pick Turtles in Time on the SNES. Turtles in Time is probably the best style of 2D game in this genre.
Well, yeah, but that's like.
Yeah, no, but like, I mean, I know it comes
If you're
later.
about
And stuff.
the 2D brawler genre, yeah, definitely. That, or like there's a bigger Power Rangers game on the Mega Drive.
Oh,
which
yeah, the
came,
one you
like,
said
much
about
later
later.
in its lifespan.
So I don't think this entire genre is like completely,
I
but
think
the
it's
early
more
ones, I
the
get what you
end
mean.
of the
Yeah,
Mega Drive era, I think.
yeah,
And by the end of it, they were starting to get better at this kind of.
Maybe we'll do Streets of Rage 4 for the co-op experiment.
yeah. That's why I don't see why not, because like I think it's. I'm really curious about it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, this game is definitely better than like Battletoads or like something like that.
It's
Battletoads.
like the hardest game ever.
We're not doing that.
Yeah, like compared to like some of these older games, it's not the worst, definitely.
No,
No.
no, no.
But it's interesting if you, because I still stand by like 2 and 3 are pretty fun.
I've never played them, so I would be up for that.
Do you feel the same way? I imagine you don't want to play this ever again, or maybe
This after
not
this,
for another year
it's
or so.
kind of like the same for when I said when we did Streets of Rage, you know, a while back, and I was like, I'm kind of done with it. And this, to me, this game is just janky shit. Like I don't like. There's so many problems with this game that
But
I.
like, were you expecting it to be anything different?
Well, I would.
It's like I feel like you just have like expectations of the game.
No,
which
no. I
weren't practical.
I
Or
honestly.
like of the time.
It's. I know that Streets of Rage came later, but even Streets of Rage 1, I was just kind of like, this doesn't. I don't know. There's a lot of issues with it, and this is just all these issues are like amplified here. Like what I feel like they should have done was given each of the heroes a longer attack reach, and I think that would solve most of the issues I have, because with Gilius, when you swing, you do have a bigger hitbox, and I think that helps dramatically. It doesn't make the game any easier.
It's true, but
You
then,
still get like tag teamed and stuff,
the
but
humans have more like magic and stuff.
yeah, and I know it's for like for different
Compensate that.
whatnot, but I just
But he is definitely the best character to play.
it's just not a very good game. It's just not very well made. I mean, like this, I couldn't recommend this
How
to
is it not
anyone.
very well made though, because I feel like
It's just so many, like all the problems I
like I feel most of these problems are from like limitations.
but it's also an
of
arcade
the
game.
time period.
It's also, let's bear in mind, it's also an arcade game. It's meant to be hard and all that sort of stuff. But this is not. This is there is the
From the developers.
from the
but I don't
5
think
minutes
they
I played
made it crap.
this time round, I was like, this might be the least amount of fun I've had doing one of these videos so
But
far.
you-
Whoa.
But you played for literally Probably less than 5 minutes.
But I have played this
At,
game.
like, one of the end.
Yeah, and I've played
stages that
this
we
game
got to.
in the past
Like,
as
it's
well.
not
Like, this is a game I've
exactly-
played a lot, and like
But like,
it's just not a good game. It's just not a very good video game. Like that's why I want to play 2 and 3 because I've never played them. I'm not saying like, you know, like the idea isn't good. The idea is good, but like this is exactly the type of game that needs that love and a care for like a proper remake. Because this is, I wouldn't recommend this to
Or
anybody.
like another sequel. Like
I could recommend Streets of Rage, even though I don't like Streets of Rage. I could recommend it, be like, this is a fairly competent made video game. But like, maybe we should play the arcade version because there's a very good chance that the arcade version might be better, like because of the hardware.
one's a better processor.
Yeah, and then there's a chance like if I went and
which one was support and which one was the original.
the arcade game came first.
Yeah,
So I for me, I would be more interested now going and play the arcade version because if it just runs better or it feels smoother, that will maybe change my mind. But it's just I don't know. I can't with a good conscience recommend this to anybody. I just don't find it fun, and I don't think it's very good. If you want to play a brawler beat 'em ups, Streets of Rage 1 or Streets of Rage 2, 3 probably Golden Axe 2 and 3. Like I'm pretty sure they're just going to be better games. I know like Streets of Rage 2 is a better game than the first one. So like if you want to have that kind of nostalgia trip, play the later games where they actually feel like
that's true.
But why would you there's literally no reason to recommend this to anybody. Literally, apart from the fact it's got a few cool ideas.
Nostalgia, and also like an example of like an 80s brawler. There's not many of those that I can think of at the top of my head.
But the thing was,
like,
is like
there's
this.
a reason to like play older games just to see where we've come from as like an art form.
Sure,
It's like,
but like bear in mind, I used to play this in Streets of Rage. I generally used to like as a kid, and as I've gotten older, like I've got that kind of thing of like
I wouldn't play this.
But I can't
I
can't recommend it like to anybody. Like I wouldn't.
Like,
If I said, there you go, there's Mega Game Collection 1, 2, I'll be like, play Streets of Rage and play Shinobi, but I was like, I wouldn't even touch Golden Axe. I just don't, there's just too many issues with this game for me to be like, yeah, go and play it. It's just too jank. And, like I said, I will probably go away and look up the arcade one, because I'm curious about, and I want to play 2 and 3.
Let's see how this is that much more janky than Streets of Rage 1, but maybe I'm misremembering Streets of Rage 1.
I mean, problem with Streets of Rage, it just gets boring really fast. There's too many levels in Streets of Rage, and like one of them, you spend the entire time going up an elevator.
It's also much longer as well.
Yeah, like my problem with Streets of Rage was I got bored after like 4 levels. I was like, oh, right. Yeah, okay, yeah, comparing stuff to sequels isn't really necessarily the fair thing or similar. When I think about Mega Drive games and other genres and stuff, a lot of those games like I played, I'm like, I can remember them being fairly good and they still hold up fairly well, but this just doesn't hold up at all. This is not a game that I just don't. Nobody needs to play this. Like as harsh as that sounds, it just don't need to. Like, and you know, this is a game I'll probably never touch again. Like I've no interest in playing this ever again. I've no interest in like completing it. It does have a fairly good soundtrack. I think the first level was the best bit of music in the entire game. But I want to see. I would love to see new Golden Axe games. Like I'd love to see like either a remake of this or carrying on with this franchise like they're doing with Streets of Rage 4. But I just don't like it at all. I just don't think there's any redeeming qualities to playing this. So hey.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I kind of agree. Not quite as brutally.
No,
as we
no,
put it, but I
but-
do like. I'm not really gonna go back to this now. So.
No, and for me, it's like what the good thing from this is I want to play Golden Axe 2 and I want to play Golden Axe 3 because for me, I haven't played them, and if the improvements are like from Streets of Rage 1 to 2 and whatnot, then I would probably have a lot more fun. But I think, there's obviously a problem with this genre. This genre has that problem of even Double Dragon Neon, a game that came out like 5-6 years ago that was a modern one, has the problem of it's so these games are tough and they're meant to be difficult, and it does feel like sometimes you just get absolutely fucked by the enemies. But combine that with weird hitboxes and hurt boxes and like the way that some enemies attack and like a way like visually you might see that you've hit someone and then you haven't, and there's all this stuff, and it's just like I ain't got time for this. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, no, if I recommend you a game, it's not gonna be this one. Basically, I think this is very much a relic of its time, and it can stay there. Like it doesn't need to come out of the box. Yeah, I know it's pretty brutal. But that's my genuine feelings on it. And as you guys saw, I played like about 5 minutes, and I was like, I'm done. Like I can't. I was just not. And it is a shame because of the there are a lot of Mega Drive games that I own, and this happens to be one of them that I had a lot of fun with growing up with.
Cool.
I think that is gonna do it for today. I mean, it was quite a nice little discussion. Me being extremely brutal as usual. But obviously, if you disagree, there is a comment section below, so feel free to go there and give us your own thoughts on this. And if you did play this, and if you play it now, if you still enjoy it, because I'm sure people are going to love this game. People that like that kind of difficult kind of thing will probably still enjoy it and get some fun out of it. I'm not saying that you can't have fun with this game. I'm just saying it's not a game I would recommend. So, but as always, like, obviously hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff if you want to keep up to date and more of the things that come in. Not really sure what's coming next, but we've got some ideas of
maybe another PC game.
Bit of the old RTS, maybe. And well, we've got plenty of stuff in the pipeline. But yeah, it's gonna about do it for us today. So thank you very much for watching and listening. And it's gonna be goodbye from me, and it's gonna be goodbye from these two.
Ta-da!
Goodbye.